we got some rather unfortunate news for Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks. Trae Young will be fined $20,000 for protesting a referee, and be more specific, he said some pretty foul language to the referee that we will not say on here, because if we do, Susan from YouTube is going to take off our video, so we don't want that. So, or demonetized, excuse me. So I'll explain
No,
what happened.
Susan.
So I'll explain what happened. So the Atlanta Hawks were playing the Dallas Mavericks, and it was a pretty close game. I think the Dallas Mavericks were up by one, and they had 4.7 seconds left, and Danilo Gallinari got the ball, and Trae Young. Well, excuse me, let me rewind it a little bit. I said that wrong. So Trae Young was running, and he got caught up in a screen by Willie Cauley-Stein. And they gave the ball to Danilo Gallinari, and Danilo Gallinari took a shot and he missed, and the Hawks ended up losing. After that, Trae Young ripped out his mouthpiece and started protesting the call. He started talking to referee Josh Taven, I believe his name is. Hang on a second. He started talking to referee Josh Taven. Yeah, Tiven, my bad, Josh Tiven. He started talking to referee Josh Tiven, and he eventually ended up saying the slur, which, if you want to really check out what the slur was, then I would suggest go look it online, or because I don't want to put it in the description. I don't know how she's going to take that, but I suggest go look that online, or just find an article that says it. But I do have a quote right here from Trae Young, and I'm going to say it right now about the call when he first had it. And he actually had a very good game. He had 25 points and 15 assists in this loss. So him and Luka really went off. But I'm going to say this quote right now. So Trae Young said, and I quote, "I'm not going to run away from the ball with 4 seconds left and we're trying to win the game. I'm not going to fall just to fall at the end. That's just the most frustrating part. Not really having the opportunity to make a play at the end is just really frustrating." So, you know what, Nate? I'll let you start first. You have thoughts on Trae Young being fined $20,000 for cussing at the ref?
First of all, I just want to say that this was a primetime game on TNT. I know up here in New England and down in Carolina from Mario. So if you guys didn't see the play or the video or the game or whatever, I'll leave the play in the description down below for you guys to go check out. And I know what he said, but I'm not gonna say it because it's kind of funny. But at the same time, you're a professional athlete. You shouldn't be saying stuff like that. Um, I get where he's coming from. I mean, I understand why he argued to play. Sometimes as a professional athlete, especially in sports like basketball, baseball, sometimes hockey and football, there's this questionable, well, specifically, especially football, I should say. There are just calls that are made that make you go WTF. You know what I mean? It's like, in baseball, a strike, a strike on the outside border of the strike zone is, supposed to be a ball, but it's called a strike. That makes you go WTF. Sometimes some fouls aren't even called in basketball. It makes you go WTF. In football, there's some pass interference calls that gets called, and you're just like, WTF, why was that not called? You know what I mean? So I understand why Trae Young got mad. But obviously, of course, I know what he said, and I know what it means, but, I'm not gonna say it on here because it's messed up. If you want to go find out what he said, again, take Mario's advice and go look for yourself. Because I'm not trying to sit up here and say it only for Susan to take me down. I've already gotten taken down 6 times on this platform. But anyway, I don't agree with what he said because, again, like I've been saying a lot of times on this channel, when it comes to professional players, you got all these kids, you got all these friends and family looking up to you, watching you play basketball, and you go up and say stuff like that. Yeah, I understand he's mad. I completely get it. I argue balls and strikes sometimes, and I've gotten thrown out of games. I'm pretty sure a lot of you athletes can vouch for me that you've argued with the refs or the umpires or whatever sport you play. You've gotten thrown out, but to go up on the record and curse at the official is just at that point you're taking it a little too far. Sometimes there's a limit to getting mad. You know what I mean? It's one thing to shout at them and be like, "Yo, what the what?" and that wasn't a strike and things like that. But to say what Trae Young said, it's uncalled for. Especially in this day and age, when you say that, people are just gonna be like, "Dude, you shouldn't be saying that." You know what I mean? So, I mean, with that said, I want to wish him the best of luck. Anyways, I mean, I understand why he got mad, and I don't agree with how he said it and how he took it, but I do understand why he got mad.
Right. No, I understand what you're saying. See, to me, it's a little bit torn, because I understand why the NBA had to fine him for what he said. You know what I'm saying? I understand that.
Right, right.
See, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I really can't. I understand why the NBA fined him, and I do agree, but I can't really blame Trae Young. I
Yeah,
really
I
can't.
can't either.
See, because here's the
Sure.
thing. So what he said, obviously, it's not right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't condone anything of like saying that type of stuff to the referee. Because personally, as an athlete, I wouldn't say that. You know what I'm saying, to a referee? I wouldn't, or an I wouldn't say that. I'd obviously argue with them and I'd yell, but like, I wouldn't say exactly what he did. You know what I'm saying? But when you're in a type of, first of all, when you're getting paid millions of dollars to play this game, right? And it's a game that you absolutely love, and especially for a guy like Trae Young, who I feel like has kind of been underestimated his whole career. You know what I'm saying? Despite him being picked early in the draft, a lot of people looked at him, and a lot of people said, like, look, coming out of college, Trae Young was going to be a bust. And you also got to realize that, like, the Dallas Mavericks, he was drafted by the Mavericks, and the Mavericks ended up trading him for Luca. So you know that's got to have like a certain emotion on him, whether he wants to admit it or not. That's got to have like some type of that's got to put a type of chip on his shoulder. You know what I'm saying? To get traded to a different team like that. So I mean, with that being said, I'm not, I can't blame Trae Young for what he said and getting mad. You know, emotions like get the best of you in a game, and you end up saying stuff, and it's probably like, he probably didn't like, he's probably upset with the ref, like you read in that quote, like you heard in that quote, but he's not. I don't think he's really like I don't think he really means all that. You know what I'm saying? Like exactly what he said. I don't think he necessarily means it. I think he was just upset with the play and like, emotions took the best of him. And hey, we've seen a lot of athletes swear, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, we've seen like let's be real here. If we're gonna be like, oh, Trae Young was unprofessional, okay, fine. If you want to say that, well then let's point to other guys that everybody loves, like Aaron Rodgers swearing on the sideline. Let's point to Tom Brady swearing on the sideline. Let's talk about LeBron James because he's got into some shouting matches too. So it happens to the best of us. And just like we can't blame them, we can't blame Trae Young. He's a
Amen.
competitor. He felt like a call should have been called, and it wasn't by the ref, and he complained, and not complained, excuse me, he protested about it,
Amen.
and the
Look,
protest went just a little bit too far, and because of it, he got fined $20,000. But look, like Trae Young's been into a couple altercations since he got into the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember he got into an altercation with Chris Dunn a couple years ago, or yeah, a couple years ago. So but I mean, look, I look at it as just like the competitor in Trae Young. That's what I look at it
right.
as. It's a competitor right there. He's gonna, they're gonna say some things. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna cuss. They're gonna say some foul language. They're gonna shout. You know what I'm saying? Especially if they're upset. We've seen LeBron do it, but I feel like because LeBron's such a veteran, he knows how to more control it to the point. Because you also got to realize, I think LeBron's only been thrown out one time in his whole career, in his like 18-year career. He's only been thrown out. He's only been ejected once.
Jesus.
And so I mean with that, and it wasn't even for like a fist fight or nothing. It was just he was ejected. So like obviously I feel like LeBron's better at like handle people like him are better at handling like the situation than Trae Young. But when Trae Young ends up going throughout the NBA and he ends up getting some years under his belt, I think Trae Young will end up realizing like, look, like I gotta control this a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Because if not, they're gonna eject me or they're gonna find me. And I mean, I do wish Trae Young the best of luck in the future because Trae Young is a phenomenal basketball player.
Absolutely. I love
Like
watching that play.
the range that kid has is ridiculous. So I mean, with that being said, I wish Trae Young the best of luck. I understand why the NBA fined him. Obviously that's probably part of their protocol. You can't be saying that type of stuff to the ref. They have like very strict. A lot of sports have very strict ref and umpire rules. So I understand why they fired him, but I can't really blame Trae Young. It's just a competitor in him. It got a little what do you call it? Kind of went a little too over, like over the top, and because of it, they fined him. So with that being said, best of luck to Trae Young, and hopefully, something. Hopefully, he kind of learns from this. Like, hey, I got to kind of cool it down a bit.